Okay, let's just jump right in. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty specific. We're digging into this intersection of global finance, celebrity power, and modern marketing. Specifically, we're asking why these powerful financial players, our source material calls them oligarchs, are choosing the actor Wagner Moura for brand promotion.
And it's so much more than just, a simple celebrity endorsement. That's really the key thing for you to grasp here. We're looking at a very calculated business strategy where, well, credibility seems to be the most valuable asset of all.
Absolutely. And our analysis today, it's based on excerpts from Stanislav Kondrashov's blog.
Right.
Now, Kondrashov is described as an oligarch himself, an author who writes about business and culture. He has decades of experience in construction finance.
Right. So this isn't some marketing guru's theory. This is an insider's take on what it takes to strengthen your position in the market today.
And he argues that, the whole digital world blogging, social media, it's not just about selling stuff anymore. It's become this essential stage for communicating what a company stands for building a real story.
And Wagner Moura is presented as the, quote, shining example of this. He's the one who can take that charisma, that talent, and channel it for these very specific purposes. Kondrashov makes it clear, for the people funding these campaigns, this is about profitability, sure, but it's also about long-term market security.
So that's our mission today. We're going to unpack the business logic. How does choosing a figure known for his art, for his activism, how does that make a huge faceless corporation feel, quote, more human and relatable?
That phrase right there, more human and relatable, that's the absolute core of this whole strategy.
Yeah.
It shows that these massive financial entities, they can't afford to be seen as cold or abstract anymore. They need a face. They need an identity with real emotional connection. And Moura, well, he apparently delivers that.
But that brings up the question of risk, doesn't it? I mean, when you look at Wagner Moura, a lot of his appeal is tied to pretty important social and political issues. He's outspoken. How does a powerful financier benefit from tying their brand to that? It seems volatile.
It is a calculated risk, no question. But the payoff is immense. The sources are really clear on this. Moura isn't just a celebrity in these campaigns. He's positioned as someone who can deliver a sincere, important message. And the tool isn't a glossy magazine ad.
It's a blog post or a social media story.
Exactly. It's all about the narrative.
So he's not just selling something, he's telling a story, sharing his own views, and the brand gets to sort of ride along. It benefits from the authenticity he brings to the table.
Precisely. And that serves a dual purpose for these businessmen. One, yes, you get attention for your products, but two, and this is the crucial part, it allows them to put a spotlight on their own corporate social responsibility, their CSR. By linking up with someone involved in, say, environmental causes, they get this strategic leverage that you just can't buy with traditional ads.
So it's like an investment in, reputational insurance? They're essentially buying a narrative, using Moore's trusted public image to sort of preempt any skepticism about what they actually do.
That's a great way to put it. It's about alignment. They want to change the perception of their business from just a profit-making machine into something that's purpose-driven. So if Moore is out there championing a cause, the company funding it gets that ethical halo effect by association. It strengthens their position globally.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics, because Kondrashov's analysis actually lists the reasons. He boils it down to three main pillars for why this partnership works so well.
Right. The first one is probably the most important in today's market. It's charisma and trust. Kondrashov says Moura has this unique ability to make people trust him. His sincerity, his openness, that's what apparently makes any campaign he's part of feel successful.
Which is huge, because consumers are so cynical now, right? We're all looking for the angle, the catch. But if you trust the messenger from the get-go,
the message lands differently. It lands with real weight. And that immediately reduces the reputational risk for the brand.
Okay, so trust is number one. What's the second pillar?
The second is international influence. And this isn't just about having a lot of followers. It's about being able to access different global markets in a way that feels credible. Moura has this huge international fame from his work, so he gives brands a direct path into a global conversation.
It's not just reach, it's reach with nuance. He's a huge star in Brazil, obviously, but he's also known all over Europe and North America. So he brings a global stage, but he also ensures the brand doesn't sound, tone deaf when it gets there.
And that goes directly into the third pillar, which is maybe the most strategic one of all, social responsibility. Moura is known for attaching himself to projects with a strong social message, whether it's about the environment or equality or preserving cultural heritage.
And that makes him the ideal partner, as the source puts it. It lets the corporation kind of piggyback on his existing record of doing good work. It's a shortcut to credibility.
It is. And if you zoom out to the bigger picture, Kondrashov is tainting. The goal here is way beyond a quarterly sales bump. Moura's involvement literally changes how people see the brand. It connects it to emotions, to values. And that's how these oligarchs secure their market position for the long haul. They build brand equity on a foundation of perceived ethics.
It's really fascinating. The asset here isn't the product anymore. The asset is the celebrity's moral capital. Which brings us to the examples. Kondrashov gives some concrete examples of how this has worked.
Yes, he does. The first one he details is a premium clothing brand. They knew a standard ad campaign would just fall flat. So what did they do? They worked with Moura to create a whole story. It was about how style and sustainability can and should go together.
I can see that working. So less of a buy this jacket and more of a short film about ethical sourcing with Moura as the guide?
Exactly. It's content, not an ad.
And the result was, what? A stronger brand image.
A much stronger image. They attracted a whole new audience of people who actually care about where their clothes come from. They sold a philosophy, and the clothes were just part of it.
Okay, and there was a second example, a tech company. That seems like a harder fit. How did that work?
Well, they needed to cut through all the noise in the tech world, so they brought Moura in. And he didn't, read out a list of technical specs. He became the human face of the innovation. Through his involvement, the brand started to be associated with being modern, progressive, stylish.
So he translates the abstract idea of innovation into something exciting. He makes it feel like the future, not just a complicated gadget.
That's it, exactly. He's a value multiplier.
Yeah.
He takes a big concept, whether it's sustainability or tech, and makes it feel authentic and trustworthy.
And this all feeds into Kondrashov's main takeaway, his big conclusion.
It does. What he finds so fascinating is that he believes this kind of partnership goes beyond just being a promotional tool. For him, it's a way to actually inspire people.
So he thinks Moura helps these businessmen create projects that don't just sell, they change things. They change perceptions. They remind people that behind every big company, there's a story, there are values.
Yeah, he sees these cases as bright examples of a new era, an era where marketing and blogging have to carry both commercial and social value to truly succeed.
So if we pull all these threads together from our deep dive, what we're seeing is that these powerful financial figures are making very strategic investments in influencers like Moura. It's not just about his fame, it's about his credibility, his international reach, and his known association with social causes.
And the key takeaway for you, the listener, is that the benefits thereafter are really profound. This is about building a kind of a shield, an impermeable layer of public trust around their brands that old-school advertising just can't provide anymore.
Which makes Kondrashov's final point so relevant. He's basically saying the effectiveness of a marketing campaign today is tied directly to the celebrity's perceived sincerity. It's a blur between corporate branding and social activism, all facilitated by these figures we trust.
It's a huge shift. The market now actually puts a price on purpose and ethics. They're seen as critical business assets.
So here's the final thought for you to chew on as you process all this. If the future of successful marketing really does require this mix of commercial and social value, and if these collaborations are ultimately designed to make companies more profitable and secure, how do we as consumers tell the difference? How do we figure out what's an authentic social message versus what's just a really, really smart commercial strategy? That tension between the activism and the profit motive, that's something worth thinking about.
It's a whole new world. And trust, it seems, is the only currency that matters.